Hello, hello. So this should start working, and I'm just trying to get all my ducks in a row here and make sure that I'm set up to go. Hello, everybody. This is Michael Angel with CDSoundMaster, CDSoundMaster.com, and I want to load up my sidecar here where I can see that YouTube is streaming and not causing any problems. Play some fun little graphics here, make sure we're doing good. So hello everybody on YouTube, hello everybody on Facebook, if Facebook is doing its thing. In fact, let me find out real quick, make sure that it is. Okay, looks like not streaming on Facebook, not streaming on any of these. We're definitely going to have to try this again, because something seems not right here. Yeah, we're going to try this again. Not sure why it's doing this. I will come right back. Okay, it looks to me like this is working, so we're going to try it again. And I'm actually going to jump right in with this. So, try once again. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we should be set to go. I apologize. Always the technical things. So today, talking about VCA compressors. I found this article when I was doing a little work online and getting ready for the release of the custom Shop Buss VCA for Nebula Pro, which means in4, Nebula 4, and retroactively all of the previous commercial versions. If there's any Nebula 2 users out there, then you've known me for 15 years. Nebula 3 is probably what everybody has used for the longest. So anyway, I found this article from Vintage King, thought it was neat, and I'm going to take a look and see whether Facebook is actually streaming this time. It really should be. I've got the stream running correctly, so it'd be nice if it does that. But if it doesn't, yeah, see, there it is. And it says multi-streaming with Restream. I'll change that at some point. So, Vintage King, obviously they sell vintage stuff, so it is in their best interest to let us know about the stuff that they have for sale. And for most people in the studio side of things, all they really have to do is see the pictures, and they'll just sell everything that isn't a bus compressor to buy this stuff. So just all the pretty pictures and the views and all the knobs in all the right places. But what are these things? Well, Eric Allen, thank you very much. I've got a link to this in the YouTube video. It should be there, unless it isn't, in which case that would be incorrect. Well, let's see. Yeah, looks like everything is there. We're good. So lots of fun things to click on in the video. You will enjoy this. And if you are here, if you are actually watching live on YouTube, I am watching for the chat thing to the right. And please subscribe, click the thumbs up thing, ring the bell so you know when these things are going to happen. And then you can, chuckle when all the technical things go wrong. I mean, let's use the benefits for what they are. You know what I'm saying? So then Facebook looks like it's working there. So I'm going to keep my eyes open. And hello, Sharon and Michael. I know them. And them. Okay, so Vintage King, Guide to VCA Compressors. I'm going to read some of this for you. Ever wonder what exactly a VCA compressor does? VCA stands for Voltage Controlled Amplifier. The funny thing is that it's not usually an amplifier but an attenuator, meaning that it turns the signal down when it's fed a certain control voltage. And in simple terms, that's how the gain reduction takes place in a VCA compressor. And I was kind of mentioning this when I was talking to about the Buss VCA, the Canadian? No, it's not. The custom shop for Nebula Pro program that I currently have on a flash sale. So go get it. We think of compression as being that thing that just really squeezes the signal, and people use them for the loudness wars and to make things, tight and punchy and loud and aggressive, or, smooth and big and three-dimensional. But really the compressor's job is to reduce the things that go beyond a certain point, because it thinks like analog does. Our goal with analog is to keep things somewhere around unity gain all the time, that perfect zero where it's above the noise floor and below distortion. But what we learned is that we always, were fighting against the noise was the one thing that you couldn't have. You didn't want to hear all that noise. So The peaks are the things that go way beyond that, which makes us have to not increase our levels even more into the analog. So that average, or I guess what we look at peak averages and RMS averages, and then the other kinds of averages. And basically, if you can control those peaks, then you can bring things to a slightly higher average and keep things under control. So when we think of the voltage control, it's actually attenuation, and then the amplification is happening to bring everything that's not that up. So it's kind of the opposite of what you think of, but it's kind of how a lot of the discrete stuff works. A lot of the program equalizer stuff, all built around the Western Electronics, the pulse technology stuff. It's actually doing just the opposite of what you think of and hear and visualize, and the amplifier is doing the opposite to bring it back up for you. So voltage-controlled amplification, there are different circuits doing things differently. They're very clever about how they feed forward and back, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. A control signal, which you dial in using different front panel controls like threshold, attack, ratio, release, tell the VCA circuit in the compressor when to start turning the signal down, how fast to do it, how much to do it, and how long it should take for the signal volume to return to normal. All of these things are true. It's very well laid out, very well described. So if you think of threshold, it's like basically how deep into the signal you're wanting the response to be. Let's say you have an extremely dynamic recording, something that goes from maybe -10 to close to 0 to all the way down to 20 or 30. It's got very quiet parts and very loud parts. Then you might want to use a fairly deep threshold, but not use a whole lot of compression, so that you're bringing a little bit of everything together and then able to adjust the volume accordingly. Attack, a lot of times the whole point of this is to have a very fast attack so that it doesn't let anything through. And then you would have a release, which is, how long am I holding on to this thing before I let go of it? So, you might just want to be honing in on very aggressive kick, snare, drum set stuff. Things that are articulate, like picking, as opposed to strums. But the thing is that all these different things that are meant to, transparently control the signal really do create a very interesting sonic signature, and we've kind of gotten used to hearing those things. And a lot of them were intentionally overused as we went in from the 70s into the 80s, where there was more and more and more competition for a commercial sound. It wasn't necessarily just about the singer-songwriter, the quality of the expression and musicianship, but just how big and loud and commercial and surprising and ear-catching could something be. And in order to do that, you needed to hit the tape with as good a signal as possible, meaning that first of all, you're going to be able to get a good solid mix before it started to lose any quality, but that you couldn't hear any noise. Everything needed to be slammed pretty hard, and then people realized, hey, this is actually easier to mix the more that I squish this stuff together. So it ended up in the loudness wars, and things were not very pretty for a while there. So we talked with longtime engineer and Vintage King's Director of Business Development, Ryan McGuire, about some of his favorite VCA compressors and what it is about each one that makes them so special in the studio setting. Very, 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 very cool. So I appreciate you guys doing this article, and I hope that it turns some eyes in your direction for my using this as a barometer direction thingamajig compass in the right direction. Overstayer at a reasonable price point is one of the most highly regarded VCA compressors on the market, designed and built by audio genius Jeff Turzo, man responsible for countless high-end custom gear building projects for top producers. Now you can have one of his secret weapon designs at an accessible price point, but with no sacrifice in audio quality. So that's the Overstayer, right? Come back, the Overlever. Okay, here, right there. It's the Fresh Maker. Somebody was putting Mentos in their Facebook feed the other day. It's funny. Okay. Vertigo, Masterpiece, VCA, Germany, Cut No Corners philosophy. This is as good as it gets in terms of transparency. So just showing you some of these guys. The Smart Research C2, classic English style VCA. You've heard on hundreds of hit records. Inspired by the Oxford, England originators. I love that one. It's cool looking. Smart Research C1LA 500 series. Smart style VCA with a few more features even. SSL G series stereo bus. The SL SSLG. Few can hold a flame to the popularity and the usability of this thing. This is the newest rendition of the long legacy Buss VCA, forefront of VCA technology with its highly sought after FXG384 from the 90s, and now that same design has evolved into its modern studio mainstay. Yeah, it's pretty. Not the most expensive thing in the world to build. There's a lot of really good clones based around the SSL comp. But you just think of everything Buss Comp, and your brain is going to go there to DBX. And I would say the 2500 is probably my favorite. Want instant rock and roll? This is as close to rock and roll in a box as your stereo mix will ever see. Tight, punchy, warm, in your face. The API sound never fails to excite, and this is no exception. Try the thrust circuit on your drum mix and thank us later. It's interesting they mentioned that because I think of some of the things that I like about FET with the 1176 blackface, the blue stripe, all these different ones. The aggressive nature of it, but that ability to get instant sustain and then build in that kind of tap, click, swack, boom towards the front of the signal. I think that's what thrust does really well with the 2500. I would consider it like a desert island if I were stuck with nothing but. I would feel like I could pretty much get every mix with a 2500. The SSL, I would feel more happy sometimes than others. It really depends on how the drummer has performed or what the sample loops sound like. So Shadow Hills, I'm skipping over the 500 version just to go to the big monster. The Grandmaster of VCA Compressors, this beast is 2 compressors in 1. We like that thinking. We'll come back to some of the things that I've done. A stereo optical compressor followed by a discrete stereo VCA compressor so that you can truly tackle any task from recording any source. I'd say I love the sound of opticals and Mary Muse and that kind of stuff. Class AB discrete solid state hand-built circuitry from the highest grade of the highest grade. So you have output transformers like nickel to iron to steel. Yeah, I mean, these things do make a big difference. Hitting the transformers in a similar way to how hard you want to articulate the attack, those kind of things can make a huge difference. Dramatic Obsidian Compressor. Classic Oxford, England style. You know, what is it about Oxford? You know what I'm saying? Style VCA compressor, but with a decidedly more organic sound to it. What does organic sound like? I know, but it's the right word to describe stuff so often. And was that the 500 version? Yeah, it is. Dangerous compressor. Do try this at home. Not only a mastering engineer's dream, but it's amazing on the mix bus when transparency is important. You can lay into this machine super heavy and it doesn't give up much. Just a smooth, buttery, dynamic envelope with minimal artifacts and coloration. So really great range. Obviously, if you like Vintage King and you have a few tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, go here and buy all of those things. And if you're everybody else, then let's continue forward. Haha. CDSoundMaster. I like them. They have good things. So Custom Shop, I've decided to kind of put the Custom Shop stuff under my Artisan series of Nebula Pro stuff, and eventually that'll be VST as well, I believe. Unique, completely one-of-a-kind bus compressor with a lot of VCA attitude and unique fine-tuned sound. Unlike any other, it harkens back to the classic original, that's not box, that's DBX, sound, and was custom built to provide the same fast snap and punch of the original with a refined response sensor and its own unique grab and release effect. This is not a variation of an SSL or DBX track or Buss Comp, but definitely maintains the kind of qualities that one would hope to hear from these giants of industry. This compressor is especially useful for hard rock, metal, aggressive music styles, full drum groups, individual instrument tracks that need edge and character like slap bass and picked bass and guitars. It makes an incredibly strong statement on individual drums and percussion and can work just for you for just about any mixing scenario when used with either very shallow threshold and high ratio or vice versa. So, and you can see I'm still keeping this flash sale. It's a slow flash. It's a continuous flash. It's very forgiving if you're still looking to, be involved and stuff. Yeah. So join. You shall enjoy this. Okay, so also have opened up the Punch VCA, and I'm just going to take a quick look, make sure that this is on the right setting. Yes, thank goodness. And testing 1, 2, 3. You can hear me. Okay. It'd be really terrible to finish this, only to realize that nothing had been happening the whole time. So, and this is probably a fairly late time of the day to be doing this. I've been working out a lot of technical kinks during the day, and then finding that it's very hard to get into the stream fast enough. So let me actually log out of edit mode since we're actually here. And back we are. Okay, so you can see this beautiful thing here. Punch VCA is an original CDS VCA design. Analog VCA compressors are known for their punchy natural response with powerful attack or bold, smooth bus mixing. Punch VCA provides tight and warm compression modes for all of your mixing tasks, and this is a must-have audio plugin, as it captures the best aspects of VCA compressors while raising the bar with its own unique design. The Punch VCA is an original creation from CDS. That's me! The Punch VCA compressor provides you with the wonderful, fast, colorful, punchy attack of a classic VCA compressor. So, does it compress? Is it a VCA style of a compression, would you say? So I've loaded up some of the audio samples, and you can click on all of these from the video if you wish, if you would like, if you shall, if you want to. And once again, thanks to the powerful, mighty, talented Michael Wickman. In fact, I need to add him to the credits. They will be added as soon as I'm done with this. I'm going to add them again. But this is the Punch VCA in tight mode using a heavy amount of compression, and I'm going to start just let you hear the clean drums. These are without any EQ or compression. This is just Mike with his mics, just playing with amazing articulation. He's a great drummer. Here you go. All right, so in the clean, you can hear the drums clear as day, and his playing is awesome. But if you're listening, you should really listen with good critical listening stuff, really good headphones, or in your studio with the real speakers and stuff. And you'll notice that there's a really nice spread on the room as well, and that's part of what I want you to hear. The compressor really clamping down. It's the good kind of pumping, breathing effect, not the bad kind. But I have this intentionally overdone, so that you can really hear what's going on. I hate it when somebody does a great job showing an A/B of something, but because the person's never worked with it, or they're not the ones that actually dial the setting in, that it's so tough for them to discriminate exactly what it is that it's doing, that they kind of don't get the point about just what a great piece of gear it is. So I intentionally overdo this stuff. Obviously, you would not just go for the heaviest handed compression on everything. This is so that you can really hear stuff. So I'll let you hear a little bit of the clean again. And compressed. Clean. I love it. It just, to me, it sounds like it just gets the aggression of the power behind his playing. So that's definitely the idea there. So this is going from tight mode into warm mode. And let me see if I can show the picture. Yeah, you can see, I mean, literally it's two modes right here. You've got an incredible range of threshold, incredible range of ratio. The drive knob lets you dial in the amount of the unit's harmonics. If you think of it in terms of if you were to drive the input, drive the harmonics, this is very well controlled so that you're dialing in real aggressive transformer boom kind of sound. It's really nice. So there's the tight, more kind of tight, aggressive, punchy, clear mode, and then there's the warm where it's intentionally kind of reprocessing things to intentional. It's really amazing on aggressive vocals and stuff too, but the way that this is designed, it's great to where you can intentionally put different groups of things in one versus the other, and you may not even EQ as much as a result, or you may compensate EQ after things have already compressed, gone through the circuitry. So just makes a lot of sense. So here is in warm mode, and I'll kind of change that around for you. So this is clear first, clean, without anything. And compressed. And once again, very intentionally overdone so you can really hear the personality. I'm going to go back and forth a little quicker so you can really hear it pick up. And in tight mode again, the same thing going on. Warm mode. So you can hear that the articulation is different, the compression, the clamping down is absolutely different. So here is on a song that I did, copyright me, forever, before and after, and you'll hear it in a tight mode and then in a warm mode. Listen for the dimensional width. Listen to how far the reach of the instruments are to the left and to the right. Making sure you can hear me. Okay, so this is with some clean compression. So clean you can't hear it. There we go. So I want you to listen to the long drony sustaining notes in the background and what changes with the percussive nature. I'm going to do a little bit more of the dry into the clean. And then warm. Alright then. Okay, so I got a heavy song that I did before, clean, and tight. Yeah. Before and slam it. Yep. Okay. And here is me on an acoustic guitar, just real clean. Listen to the articulation and the sustain. Here's before. With the compression. Clean. Compressed. Alright, so those were examples of the Punch VCA. You can read the manual, check out the graphs, all that kind of stuff. Write me if you want to get a special deal on this, combined with anything else. Just get in touch with me. CDSoundMaster@gmail.com. or, you know, Facebook, whatever. So yeah, I wanted to come all the way back around to the custom bus VCA for Nebula, N4, etc. I have queued up a couple of audio examples here. So once again, this is the more clean one in the VCA 1 mode. And thank you, Michael Whitman, again. Okay, so that's clean. Here's mode 1. Without. And with. Okay, and here's the mode 2. Clean. And with. Alright, so that should give you a pretty good rundown. You should have kind of locked in your brain and your ears a few really good examples of what VCA stuff should sound like. And if you have $1 million, go to Vintage King and buy a whole bunch of stuff. And then buy a new rack too, because you're going to need a new rack for your whole VCA section of the studio. Or buy the Punch VCA and the custom Shop Buss VCA for Nebula. Thank you guys for joining, and I will talk to you guys soon. All right. God bless you. Bye.